In this video, I experiment with a new medium, make some big mistakes, fix those mistakes, and at the end, I give away the sculpture to one of you. So today I'm going to be making a sculpture out of this scrap metal and offcuts that I have. The last sculpture I did was a humanoid, so I really wanted to do an animal for this one. And I was just laying out the design because I had these little pieces of brass that I thought were just perfect as teeth. And so an alligator seemed like an obvious choice. I mean, look at that. So here I am marking things out. And what I really like about doing these sculptures is you don't have to be that precise when you're marking out your lines. It's my least favorite part of woodworking, so that's very great. And here I am drilling those holes. I don't own a drill press. I wish that I did own a drill press. But every time I'm doing this, I think, wow, look at me. I'm going straight down through the wood. And when I turn this over, you're going to see, well, I didn't. I thought about doing it again, but I don't really have a better way to do this. So maybe it's something I'll just get better at with time. Here I am cutting some wire. I thought I might do like little staples in the side or something. But that didn't work out either. And experimented with a few things off camera. And here I'm just twisting some wire. I have very thin wire that's not structural until you twist it up like this. Also looks quite nice. So here's what I ended up doing. I ran those thicker wires down the sides and used the thinner brass wire to wrap around and feed through those holes. I think this could work, but it's got some problems. I think for now I just need to set it aside, do some thinking, and figure out what I'm going to do next. Okay, so I think I have a plan now, but I'm going to have to take everything apart because I can't sand this once I wrap it in wire. So I'm going to be pulling it apart. I'm going to be sanding and finishing those pieces. And what I'm doing here is just holding the piece at a 45-degree angle to bevel those edges. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, so now that I've done a rough sand, I moved to a finer sandpaper, and yeah, this took forever, but I didn't really mind because it's kind of relaxing. Now that I've finished that piece, it's time to finish that piece. As I'm watching this, I'm thinking probably use a paintbrush or something a little more delicate than a huge, dirty rag. But, you know, it worked. I got things back to the way they were before I took everything apart. And please enjoy this time lapse of the back of my wrist. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to not get in the camera's way when I'm filming these things. But at the end of the day, I think things turned out really nicely. That wire twisted up in the back there. That was a mistake. That's gonna bite me later. For now, I was just testing it out, and I don't really like those eyes. So I'm going to the screw graveyard here, and I'm gonna pick out some replacements. And I'm just going through the pile. I'm looking for things that I think might look good, and then I'm just holding them up to the model to test them out. I do this a lot. This is the only time I'll show it in the video, but I'm constantly holding up different things to the model to see if it's gonna work and try to visualize how it will be once it's attached. I've got a clear winner in mind now, and so just getting to work drilling some pilot holes so I don't split apart the wood with the screws. I'm deliberately not measuring this, kind of doing it haphazardly, haphazardly, because I want that sort of human error element. Another delightful time lapse of the back of my wrist as I twist up the other wires on the back of the model, and almost immediately realize that I've backed myself into a corner. Because now that those thicker wires have been twisted up, I don't really have a good way to attach the top and bottom jaws. So it's at this point that I'm actually starting to panic a little bit. And this was my first attempt. I was really not happy with the way this looked. In hindsight, this would have been a really good time to stop what I was doing, take a break, maybe sleep on it for a night. At the time, it felt like a very important issue to solve right away. So this was my second solution, and I was pretty happy with this. Let me know if you could see what's wrong with it, because in a few seconds here, you're going to see me realize my mistake in real time. I put it on backwards. I put the bottom jaw on backwards. Alright, so at this point I did actually step away. I got some food. I don't know if I slept. I think this is probably the same day. I tend to get latched onto a problem and I can't really rest until it's solved. But I did take a break and I stepped away, and I think that was the right choice, because ultimately I come to a solution here that looks better than the previous one. So pretty happy with that, and maybe that was a happy little mistake. Maybe that was supposed to happen. I don't know. This layout's looking pretty good to my eye, but I think we need a little more bulk to that body. So I'm taking out my glue, and I think I actually have an offcut that's perfect size for this. You never have enough clamps on your forbidden ice cream sandwich. That's what I always say. From there, I'm using a rasp to refine the pieces. And this by far was my favorite part of this project. I found it absolutely satisfying, and it's really awesome to see these blocks of wood actually take shape and start to form the idea I had in my mind. So this is really where the project starts to come together in my mind. I apologize if my voice sounds a little raspy during this portion of the video. And of course, now that I've got those shapes roughed out, I need to refine it further with some sandpaper. So I'm going in and I'm doing that. Oh no, I got the rasp out again. It's a little bit of a weird edit. I'm gonna keep it in though. I'm gonna keep that in. So now that I got those shapes shaped up, I'm going in with some sandpaper and I'm gonna refine them further. Just get them smoothed out and looking nice. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna let you know about the giveaway that I'm doing today and how you can actually apply to win this sculpture. So all you need to do is subscribe to this channel, and then in the comments you're gonna use the words "see you later, alligator," and then at the end of April I'm gonna choose one of you and I'm gonna send this sculpture to you, and I'm gonna cover shipping, so completely free to you. I will warn you though, I know my mom's gonna be the first one to enter this competition, probably be the first one to watch the video, so hello Mom. Now I'm getting my blocks scooped up, Now the only thing left to do is the final assembly. So I'm just starting off by drilling some holes in all the pieces. And those holes are a little bit smaller. They're a little bit thinner than this wire, which is perfect because I can just twist the wire in there like a screw, and then everything's going to stay in place really nicely. It's not going to move around. And I gotta say, it felt really good to see this thing come together. And at this point, I was starting to feel pretty confident. Didn't know what I was doing at the start, but now it looks like something. I think it could look like something more. So just bringing out the hammer and nails for a little embellishment. And I think this really tied the piece together. Little whoopsie there. But, wood glue solves all. Get some clamps on there. One last time lapse to the back of my wrist as I complete the most satisfying part of this project. What I'm doing here is taking that twisted up brass wire and just bringing it through the whole piece and wrapping it around any of that thicker wire and wrapping it around the nails as well. And with that finishing touch complete, I'm very happy to call this sculpture finished and show you some beauty shots. Thank you all so much for joining me in creating this sculpture. I had a lot of fun doing it, and like I said earlier, if you want to win this sculpture, I am giving it away, and if you watch the video, you'll know how to do that, so please do that. I'd love to give it to you. I'll definitely be making more sculptures like this. I'm also going to be making videos about other art forms that I practice, and maybe some of the game development stuff that we're doing as well, which I didn't have time to get into today, but yeah, somewhere along the line. I'll catch you next time.